All right, all right. How's it going, everybody? Happy Monday. Depending on where you are zooming in from, I know we have people on the East Coast, West Coast, even all across the waters into Asia. So I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to our Monday opportunity overview. Today, I get the honor and privilege of introducing you to our company, our amazing products, and more importantly, our rewards and revenue program on how you could take advantage of it and truly transform your life. So before we get started, just to really quickly introduce myself, my name is Julian Doan. I'm a director here with RIMAN. I've been with RIMAN for about 2 years now. And for me, where I came from the fitness background. I built a very, very successful career teaching group fitness, selling out classes. I also built a very, very successful career doing it digitally for some brands you probably heard of like Lululemon, Alo, and Meta, teaching boxing-inspired fitness classes. So, for me at that time, I thought I had everything figured out, right? I was making good money. I was able to pay all my bills and I was able to enjoy some of the, luxuries that life had to offer. But deep down, I knew something was missing and I had no idea that RIMAN would be the answer. You see, for me, even though I was making good money, it required me to teach about 28 classes a week and film about 6 classes a month, right? And so although I was making money, I didn't have time. And my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, our typical day we see each other in the morning, we see each other at night, hope we have enough energy to do a date night on the weekends, right? But really, most of the time, it's catching up on errands and on Sunday, being upset all day that Monday's the next day, right? And so when I saw RIMAN, I was introduced to it. My first exposure was actually not a Zoom, it was actually a convention. And I remember walking to the convention, seeing over 2,000 people all excited about the RIMAN opportunity. I got a chance to meet the owners. And once I got to take a look at the company, I realized that this is what we call a perfect storm, right? You're going to be introduced to RIMAN, our heritage ingredients, right? You're going to hear about the instant efficacy, about how well our products work, how fast they work, right? How clean and gentle they are, how they don't disrupt your hormones, right? You're going to see how affordable it is. I think that's a huge one. So many people today are spending so much money on products that don't even work, only to end up with cabinets full of products that they haven't even finished, right? And, last but not least, the packaging design is sexy, okay? So when I saw that, I say, okay, it's a great product. But let me share with you why I got involved. It's because timing, right? In real estate, it's all about location, location, location. In business, it's all about timing, timing, timing. You see, what RIMAN is not just another skincare product. What RIMAN is something called K-beauty, which is Korean skincare. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard of Korean skincare. Korean skincare is right now is considered the gold standard of skincare. People save money to fly across the country to be able to get procedures, to be able to get skincare products because it's well known for fixing hyperpigmentation, hydration, right? Removing wrinkles. And so you take a look at where we are right now, the K movement, K dramas, breaking records, right? Squid Games, all that on Netflix, breaking records, right? K-pop Demon Hunters, breaking records. K-pop selling out stadiums. And behind all that is something called K-beauty because people are now looking at alternate beauty standards, right, that they actually prefer. So when I saw RIMAN, I saw great quality products, affordability, and more importantly, a demand for the product that already exists. That combined with the right revenue reward program, I knew that there would be something special here. So my wife and I, we got started and, we're very, very blessed to say that RIMAN has changed our lives. Because of RIMAN, we were able to double the amount of money that we're making in the fitness industry, and we get a chance to do it in way less time. I wake up with my wife, and guess what? I spend all day with my wife, right? At night, we built the business together, we travel together, and, RIMAN has allowed us to even get married, pay for our wedding. So, we're super excited for that. And within 2 years, we built a team over 19,000 people all around the world who are using the product, talking about the product, sharing the product, right? And over 40,000 customers who love the product, right? So let me introduce you to the company that so many people are raving about, okay? And I'm going to invite you to pay really close attention to, because if this is your first time hearing about RIMAN, I promise you it's not going to be the last time. So make this the best one, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about it. So RIMAN was established in Korea in 2018, and that's very, very significant because this is a Korean skincare product, and what people are looking for today is authenticity, right? So many products out here in America advertise themselves as Korean skincare, but they only have Korean ingredients in it, right? So our company, true to its roots, was started in Korea in 2018. And let me share with you something. Since 2018, our company has done over $3 billion in revenue, okay? That's a little outdated, over $3 billion dollars in revenue. Most companies that have been around as long as we have are celebrating 50 to 100 million a year, right? We're celebrating over $3 billion in sales. Now, let me share with you why that's significant, right? Korea, right, is known for Korean skincare, right? And guess what? Korean skincare is probably the most competitive where? In Korea. And how did RIMAN fare, right? In the years that we've been out there in South Korea, since 2018, we became the #1 rated K-beauty brand in all of Korea. We're actually the #1 exported Korean skincare product in all of Korea, right? And that says a lot. Now, just to give you an idea what that relates to in numbers, right? Just our dermatology cream alone, okay? Our dermatology cream from our signature line, we sold over 40 million bottles in Korea alone in the first 3 years. Now, let me share with you how significant that is. Korea is a small country, right? Korea is about the size of Indiana, population, give or take 55 million people. So imagine they sold 40 million bottles of dermatology cream to a population of 55 million, right? In the most competitive country, that's the size of one of 50 states here in America. So when I saw that, I got excited because people want the best. People are looking for it. And why not join the company that's already breaking records with a proven track record, okay? Now, they launched United States and Canada March of 2023, okay? They launched Taiwan December of that year. They launched Hong Kong July the following year. And this year in April, we launched Mexico, Singapore, Malaysia, the Philippines, one of our newest countries we just launched early in October. The United Kingdom, we launched 19 days after that. Japan, we're in the process of opening up in Q4. And guess what? Coming up in the next year, Italy, Spain, Ireland, Australia, Thailand, right? And here's what's amazing about it. Our company, right? $1 billion company, right? Not only that, but has such great strategy. They've already marketed and did research on all the top countries that have the highest demand for K-beauty products. So strategically, guess what? We have the #1 product, right? And we're going into countries that are already open to it, that are already using it and looking for it. So what does that mean? In business, it just means common sense, right? So for me, when I saw that, I said, the timing could not be better, okay? So remember how I told you, right, about our ingredients? All of our ingredients can be found, right, in our 3 brands, okay? So RIMAN is the brand. We have 3 product lines. One is our ICD, that's for in-cellular dermatology, that's our skincare line. Then you have our Lab, that's our personal care and hair care line. And then we have our Lifening, which is our nutritional line, okay? Now, everything is based on a simple philosophy of taking care of yourself on the inside and outside, okay? Now, how that's possible, #1 is our ingredients, right? And before I even talk about our 2 hero ingredients, let me share with you something amazing, right? So many companies talk about the ingredients they have. Let me talk about the ingredients we don't have, right? There's over 3,000 harmful chemicals that are found in everyday products and skincare that you're probably using that are full of chemicals, preservatives that disrupt your hormones, right? Women today are now becoming more conscious, men too, about what they put on their body, in their body, right? They no longer want anything that can affect their fertility, their hormones, right? Breast cancer, right? Leading cause of breast cancer is preservatives found in their products. And it's proud to say that our products are clean and gentle, and we avoid over 3,000 chemicals that most people look for, right? Now, our 2 hero ingredients, one is the Jeju Lava Energy Water, and the second is a giant bung pool. Now, let me talk about the water for a second, right? You know, on Jeju Island, there's a volcano, and for over 400,000 years, water gets filtered through the rock, remove of impurities, and, you know, infused, right, with essential minerals. So it's water with a purpose. It's energy water, right? Because it provides. Now, why is that significant? Well, you know, majority of our body is made of what? Water, right? So it's about absorption. #2, right? Then 80% of the ingredient in skincare products is water. So think about it. If you're going to use water as a delivery system for your ingredients, wouldn't you want it to be extra clean, free of impurities, and added with minerals, right? Then we have our giant bung pool, right? We have a patent on that plant, right? And it's a plant that we've grown, right? So what classifies as plant-based Korean skincare? Oftentimes you're going to notice they use a plant called Centella Asiatica, right? In fact, when you hear plant-based K-beauty, just know they're copying us, right? We started the movement. So the Centella Asiatica is known for anti-inflammatory properties, right? You know, hydration and moisture in the skin. And what's amazing about it, we grow it on our smart farm, and a plant that's normally the size of a quarter grows the size of your palm. With that, the efficacy of the ingredients become more effective as well, okay? Our technology is what makes it work, okay? Coming from the fitness background, marketing a lot of different, fitness products, one of the things that you're gonna hear a lot is not just about the quality of the ingredients, it's about the absorption. Because it doesn't matter how great, of ingredients you have, if your body doesn't absorb it, your skin doesn't absorb it, it goes to waste, right? So I know a lot of times people look at this, they're like, oh my gosh, should I be worried, because I use all these other products, right, that have, bad chemicals in it. Well, here's the good news, right? Their products don't use nanoliposomal technology, so your skin's not really absorbing most of it anyways, but absorbing some of it, right? But through our technology, imagine we take ingredients and it breaks it down 40 times smaller. It covers it in liposomes and exosomes, allowing it to penetrate, right, the deepest layer of your skin, going to the source, hydrating it at the source, right, fueling it with nutrients at the source, rather than just being a band-aid that covers the surface like most skincare products. And that's why it works so well, okay? Now, let me share with you our state-of-the-art facility. This is our RIMAN campus on Jeju Island, right? As you can tell, we're very conscious about the environment. Everything we do is all about a simple philosophy, clean and gentle, right? And protection. So solar power station, the RIMAN farm, the Bungpool lab, right? That's where they do all the extracts. The Jeju Lava Energy Water Center, that's where they pull the water. Ask-based, which is where they do all their research and development, and one of the top research and development facilities in the world, okay? Let me show you what the RIMAN Smart Farm looks like. And what's really cool about this, if you notice on the bottom, towards the center left, you'll see a normal Centella Asiatica, but you'll also notice our giant version of that, right? So as you can imagine, very, very innovative stuff. And again, we control the whole process. We have patent notes on plant. We control the process from seed to face, right? What does that mean? From the planting of the seed, harvesting of the seed, the extracts, even the bottling, even the manufacturing, the labeling, we own the whole process. And why is that? Because RIMAN wants to make sure that whatever they do, they're 100% responsible for the quality and they can stamp their name behind it, right? Versus going through, middle people and, whatever it is, right? So for me, I thought that was huge, their commitment to quality, okay? On top of that, not just commitment to quality, commitment to products, but also the commitment to the field, right? On Jeju Island, they bought this part of land, they built 9 villas and created something called RIMAN Village, that once you become a director, you're going to be able to qualify for a retreat to go out there, stay out there in one of the 9 beautiful villas. They take very, very good care of you. You get a whole tour of the facility, from the Bungpool lab to the smart farms, and they even have a special spa that pulls in water, right, from Jeju Island, the lava energy water, and they give you a beaker of, the Bungpool extract that you can pour in there and soak in it. And when you get out of it, I mean, I'm telling you, your skin is silky smooth, right? It's silky smooth. And it's just a fun experience because, at the end of the day, yes, you want to make money. Yes, you want to have great products, but you also want to be part of a great community. And that's one of the things you're going to notice when you go to RIMAN Village, when you meet all the other top producers in the company, is that they're people just like you and I who just simply love the product, started sharing about it, and, have been able to change our lives with it. And, being a part around good people is important to me. And if it's important to you, there's something you definitely want to qualify for, okay? So let's go ahead and dive more into it. I'm going to play you a quick video. It's going to recap
Evolution.
the things I shared.
Some evolutions, through countless attempts, completely surpass the previous generation, demonstrating their superiority. This process gives rise to a new species, a giant soldier infused with the mysterious energy of Jeju lava. The original source of energy, the light body, evolves through multiple iterations. Until Doan.
Now I'll share with you something, a funny story about this video. That gentleman right there that you see on the screen, his name is Wong Bin. And Wong Bin, you could call him the Brad Pitt or George Clooney of Korea. I mean, this is a gentleman whose name is a brand itself, and he doesn't really attach his name to anything unless he really believes in it, right? It's kind of like Brad Pitt, George Clooney. You don't really see them in a lot of advertisements, right? But when you do, like, okay, this product means something. And I mean, the #1 highest grossing film to ever come out of South Korea is a movie called The Man from Nowhere, and he's the star of it. So having him, be one of our cover models, one of many, really supported us in propelling our company in Korea, right? And that gentleman's 49 years old, close to 50 years old. I remember I did a K-pop-up sharing these products, and the husband jokingly looked at his wife and looked at me and said, so you're telling me if I use this product at 50 years old, I'm gonna look as good as him? And his wife looked at me, looked at him, and says, you don't even look that good now, right? And I started laughing, but it's definitely gonna help, right? It's not gonna help. It definitely won't make you look worse. it'll definitely make you look better, okay? So our skincare stands for incellular dermatology. It's in the name, right? It goes into the cellular level, right, of the deepest layer of your skin. And what it does is going to cleanse, hydrate, and protect your face. We have two versions, the signature line and the advanced line, okay? Now, what is the difference? Both have the same ingredients, slightly different texture and delivery system that you might choose depending on what you're looking to, what results you're looking to have, or even climate of where you live, right? One's more water-based, one's more oily-based. I actually use both. The signature line I use in the morning, the advanced line I use at night. The advanced line I would just say is for people that have more of a focus in anti-aging, that are looking for maximum nutrition, right? Maximum elasticity in their skin, and really a lot of work on their hyperpigmentation, sunspots. That's what the one I would recommend, right? Now, if you look at the product, you're like, wow, the packaging design is very sexy. It looks very, very familiar. I can't really put my finger on it. Well, if you felt that way when you're looking at this screen, you have really good eyes, because our company's products are actually designed by a group called Pentagram. And Pentagram does a lot of the design work for a lot of major brands like Christian Louboutin, Louis Vuitton, right? One of their main partners is LVMH, which is Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, which owns some of the major brands in the world. So if you look at our products, you're like, wow, I think I've seen something like this similar in an LV store or whatever it is. It's because the person that designed that designed our products as well, right? Which is really great, okay? Moving forward, we just launched makeup as well. And one of the things I love about makeup is not that I wear makeup, is that 50% of the people in the world wear makeup, right? And what's amazing about our makeup is that since people are gonna wear it anyways, our makeup, what makes it different is our makeup actually repairs your skin while you're using it, right? It goes on super easy, goes on super light. You're gonna forget it's there, right? Ladies, I've heard the struggle, right? A lot of times, what you put on makeup, right? It feels like cake. It gets thick. Then at the end of the day, you can't wait to take it off because your face gets itchy and it's heavy. One of the great things about our makeup that you're gonna notice, it's gonna be light. You're gonna forget that it's there, right? Our lipstick, our lip stain, our lip butters, right? All of that goes on your lips, super smooth, right? Your husbands will love it. Husbands, you'll love it when your wife has it, right? And you'll get a lot more kissy time, right? I'm just kidding, right? Unless that's what you're looking for, because that's a high possibility. But our makeup, like I said, repairs your skin while you wear it. It's super light. It has our ingredients in it. And I think that's so effective, right? So next, I want to talk about our Botolab. This is our personal care and hair care line. We have two exclusive ingredients in there as well. In our hair care line is a Desert Cola, and in our body care is a Swamel. And both serve very similar purposes. What it does, it helps remove the dirt and oil from your scalp or your skin without drying it out, right? I mean, think about it. I don't know if you've ever noticed, for me being a guy, I used to use Irish Spring for everything, but it would always trip me out because I would go in the water, I clean myself with Irish Spring soap, wash myself with water, but yet when I get out, my skin is red and a little bit dry. Like, how does that make sense? Well, a lot of these products, skincare is no different. They're able to achieve certain results because they put harsh chemicals in there that are dramatic to create that results, right? And what's great about ours is it's clean and gentle, right? But it actually removes the dirt and oil, but still hydrates your skin, hydrates your scalp at the same time. Now, the other thing that I got to be very careful how I phrase this, right? One of the things that people notice using our hair care line is that if you or anybody that is experiencing hair loss, right? Not balding, but hair loss. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You're in the shower, you're shampooing, conditioning, and as you pull out your hand, clumps of hair goes with it. You put it on the wall, right? You forget to throw it away and you scare your husband later, right? One of those things, right? Well, one of the things you're going to notice that people often notice is after using our personal care line, their hair grows back more vibrant, grows back thicker, right? And spots that a reduction or even a stop in hair loss and even new hair growth. So if that's something that you're interested in, or people that are interested in that, this is definitely a great product to recommend to people, right? And the best part is because our products are clean and gentle, you can actually wash your hair more often, okay? Last but not least is our Lightening. This is our nutritional line. And this is one of the things that got me very, very excited when I got involved. And I'll share with you why, okay? I love the skincare. The skincare works very, very well, right? And it delivers dramatic results. But for me being a guy, when I used RIMAN, the results were great, but I had nothing to compare it to. That's why women who use our products, they fall in love with it right away. They get it right away because they have experience using skincare. But for me, coming from the fitness background, this is the one as a man I could closely relate with. Because, in fitness, one of the biggest things we're now talking about is not just the macronutrition, but the micronutrition. And one of the biggest things that we notice affects energy level, brain fog, fatigue, anxiety, depression is something called gut health. It's all the things that's happening in your gut, right? And so gut health is very, very important. And our Deep Talk Plus product is one of the strongest but gentlest at the same time, right? Nutritional product I've ever seen. It's a gut health product, probiotic, prebiotic, right? Digestive enzymes come in these little beads. You swallow it like pills. And what happens, it goes in your small intestines, it expands, it grabs onto everything, including that meatloaf from Thanksgiving 5 years ago, pulls everything out, and it just flushes it out. I mean, it's going to be the grossest, but the most interesting thing you're going to experience. Typically, we ask for before and after pictures of products, but this is one we're just going to take your word for it. Please don't send pictures, right? But people that use this product, what they're going to often notice is that their digestive system gets healthier, right? They have regular bowel movements again, right? The average adult is constipated. In fitness, when you start upping your protein, that's another issue that will happen because you're not getting as much fiber, eating more protein. So this will help with that. Now, if you're the type of person that normally when you eat a meal and you get bloated right away, you don't understand why, right? Your stomach hurts. It's gut health. So when you take this, it's going to help with that, okay? Next is our beauty collagen shot. It's one of the tastiest collagen shots, my most preferred way to take collagen. I've marketed for other brands in the past, and I'm not going to mention their names, but I can tell you that this is the best on the market. And I'll tell you why. Number one, we use low molecular collagen peptides, right? What that means is it's the most bioavailable version of collagen. Most people don't use that, and the collagen that you're taking, you pee it out, right? You're not even absorbing most of it. Most of it, you're only absorbing about 10 to 15%, okay? The next thing I want to share with you is the type of collagen we use. We use marine collagen, which is the best form of collagen. Most companies use bovine, which is cheap. Marine collagen is the best. However, most people stay away from marine collagen because it has that fishy taste or fishy smell, right? What's great about ours is we have the effectiveness, the efficiency, right, of marine collagen, but none of the bad side effects. It tastes like a berry shot. You drink it, and here, what you're going to notice is, again, the benefits of collagen, right? Stronger hair and nails, your cartilage, your bones and joints are not going to hurt as much, right? Those are the common things that people notice. And again, a lot of things that people think is a result of getting older is just actually the result of less collagen, production. So the more you add collagen back into your life, you supplement with it, the better your life's going to be, right? The more fun you're going to have living life, okay? So that's everything about the products, okay? By now, I'm pretty sure, we can all agree the company's credible. We can agree the products are amazing, right? The only question you probably had left, which is the same question I had up until this point of the presentation, it's number one, what's in it for me? Can I really do it? Am I going to get help? And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to do my best to answer all those questions for you, right? So that by the end of this, you're clear. You're like, man, this is something I definitely want to do, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, that's Mr. Tim Herr, right? Our national director. I forgot to remove that slide, right? Number one, top money in the company. You can see his before picture, his after picture, and it's one of the biggest selling points in the company, okay? All right, this is his daughter. You can see that she had really bad acne before, and then after using the products, right, the difference that it's made, okay? So we have so many before and after pictures that we can share with you. But you know what's the most important before and after picture? It's not the one that you see on the screen right here. It's going to be your before and after picture, because every single person we have use the product ends up loving the product afterwards. In fact, the more negative and skeptical you are, the more ideal of a client you are, the more we want to put the product on your face. Because chances are, if you're negative and skeptical, you probably have a lot of wrinkles. So, we can help you out with that, right? I'm just kidding, okay? So let's talk about it. Traditional supply chain, which we know, traditional business, right? Brick and mortar, how does it work, right? You have a company that's a supplier. They raise the price of the distributors. Distributor raises the price of the wholesaler. Wholesaler raises the price of the retail shops. And the retail shops raise the price and finally sells it to the customer, right? That's traditional business. Now, what we have set up is a high margin distribution business model. And in fact, as I explain this business model to you, you're probably going to recognize that this is the direction that most companies are taking today. Notice before COVID, right? It used to be more brick and mortar. Today is now more click and order, right? People are no longer trusting in advertisements and what companies are putting out. They're now trusting in peer reviews, right? What influencers are talking about, what their friends and family are talking about, because they trust authenticity and also transparency, right? So what we do is the company is a supplier, right? Instead of shifting so many hands, right? We are the middleman. They pay us to go out there and market the products. Now, promote the products, right? And for me, when I saw this, it made so much sense because all your favorite influencers, right? It doesn't matter what brand, right? It could be Young LA, right? It could be any brand. Anytime you see an influencer that puts a code that says, Julian 10, right? Why did they put that code there? So when you go check out and you put their code, that sale gets registered to that affiliate and that influencer gets paid on that purchase, usually 10%, right? So that's how it worked for me when I was marketing for, a couple of brands, right? And so again, when I saw that, I go, oh, that makes sense. But what I fell in love with it is that you don't get paid when you get customers. It's not one-time purchase. Every time they use a code, you get credit. It's that customer gets loaded to you for life, and every time they reorder, you get paid for it, whether you use your code or not. And that was different for me, and it's scaling, which I'm going to share with you in a little bit. So how do we market, right? One is online channel. If you're very savvy with social media, right, you simply going out there, creating reels, get ready with me's, product reviews, product instructions, right? Faceless Instagram accounts, whatever it is, right? You can sell it online, you can market online. That's one way that people do it. And what's amazing about it is, especially being in the fitness community, here's what I'm going to share with you. You don't have to have millions of followers, right, to be able to make money on social media. You see, what companies are looking for today is not the amount of followers, it's the amount of interactions. So what's exciting about it is you might not have 1 million, 2 million, 3 million followers like Kim Kardashian, but you might have 1,000, 2,000, couple hundred. But if you have consistent people that are interacting with your page, guess what? They're more likely to buy than if it was a bigger account. And so that's valuable there. And what do you have to do? Just use the product. Share your before and after pictures. Talk about it. Share it with somebody. Let them decide whether they love the product or not, right? That's as simple as that, okay? Second is retail shops. This is for people that maybe you are a beauty professional. Maybe you own a nail salon. Maybe you own a lash business, an eyebrow business. And this is a great way to add an extra couple hundred to a couple $1,000s extra, offering our products as a service or selling the products directly in your retail shop, or even allowing your customers to participate in helping you grow your customer base outside of the shop, right? So we have training that will teach you how to do that. And last but not least, just regular customers. What a lot of people enjoy doing is setting up little micro K pop-up events where, they invite a couple people over to experience the products, get a facial, right? And, experience the products live. So there's so many different ways to do it. And again, we're going to teach you how to do it, okay? Now, as customers, they get rewards as well, right? You get something called 5% reward points. And what that means is every time a customer makes a purchase, guess what? 5% gets sent back to them that they can use towards a future purchase, product reviews, whatever it is. It's really great. Now, VIP customers actually get 10% savings. So make sure, you talk to the person and introduce that to you. And they'll explain a lot more, okay? So let's talk about customers. Customers is the name of the game, right? So just to give you an idea, in our business, right, you get paid the most for what you do. And if you choose to build a team, you're going to get paid, you get paid most for what you do and a little bit for what your team does, okay? Now, that's exactly the same as real estate, right? If you think about it, for all my real estate agents on this call, right, if you're a real estate agent, right, you get paid the most for all the houses you sell, or you can become a real estate broker, train real estate agents, and as they go out there and sell houses because you're training them, they get the bigger commission, but you get a small override because you trained them, you taught them, okay? But again, customers are the name of the game. So as personal customers, for what you personally do, you get paid anywhere from 10 to 50% on personal commissions. That's huge. For me, being an influencer and ambassador for some of these brands, the max I would get paid is 10%, and they would have to use my code every single time. Now, what's amazing about our customers, when they become a customer, they create their own account. They have their own portal that they can log in and reorder anytime they want, modify their order, put it on reorder, whatever they choose. And you know what's the best part? They get to do all that without you. You don't have to be there to walk them through that. And when they run out of product, guess what? They're going to buy more and you're going to get paid every single time. Now, I don't know how everybody else's business is, but in my personal business, on average, a customer reorders about 6 to 8 times a year. And I think that's fantastic, right? So imagine doing the work one time and then getting paid 6 to 8 times on that in a year. It's pretty amazing, right? So let's go back to this example. Let's just say you enroll 10 new customers a month for 12 months at average 200 business points, right? At 50% commission, that's $12,000 a month that you would make, okay? Now, when I share this with you, there's a few types of people that's watching this. One, you're watching this and you're like, that's it, $12,000 a month, I would make more than that, right? Now, again, this is just a hypothetical example. You can always double the work, double the income, okay? And for those of you that are like, man, $12,000 a month, that sounds too good to be true. And what I'm about to say might sound harsh, might sound a little bit arrogant, but I say this with the utmost love and respect, okay? If $12,000 a month sounds like a lot of money and sounds too good to be true, it's just because you don't know how great life can be yet, okay? Because we have plenty of people that are doing that already in our company. Right now, it is the 17th of the month, right? We're more than halfway done, a little bit more than halfway done with the month, and there are already plenty of people in the company that are already at this for the month, and the month's not even over yet. There's people that are at this for the week, and the month's not even over yet, okay? Now, let's just say you went for 12,000, right? 10 customers, but you failed 50% of the time. So an extra $6,000 a month, right? What could you do with an extra $6,000 a month? Would it help you? Would it hurt you? Would you have more options or less, right? Now, again, remember, customers are the name of the game. Let's say you go out there and roll 0 new customers a month for 12 months, right? That's $0. So again, it doesn't matter how big your team is. What matters is the customers that are flowing through your business, okay? Now, in our business model, we have something called an automatic promotion system that when you hit the rank, you automatically get promoted and you unlock new levels of the rewards and revenue program. So when you start, you can either start as a planner, a manager, or a senior manager. I'm going to share with you what that looks like in a moment, okay? Now, to get started, it's $20, right? That secures your spot. It's, annual, but that's going to be your whole back office. You're going to get a Shopify type account, very easy to customize to your liking, from messages, names, everything, okay? As a planner, you're going to earn 10% commission on whatever you personally sell and whatever you personally buy, okay? Very, very simple. Whatever you personally sell, whatever you personally buy, okay? Now, a manager, right? When you do about $3,000 in sales points in a 3-month period, you become a manager. And as a manager, essentially, you double your commission, right? Now you can earn anywhere from 20 to 30%, right? And you're gonna earn 20 to 30% based on what you personally sell, right? What you personally buy. And if you introduce somebody to the business, right, you're gonna earn a percentage of what they sell, a percentage of what they buy, okay? And as a senior manager, you do 6,000 in sales points, you now quadruple your income, right? You triple, sorry, not quadruple, triple to quadruple your income. Yeah, for doing the same amount of work, right? And what's great is you get that on what you personally sell, what you personally buy, the people you introduce, what they personally sell and buy, and you also get an extra 5% team incentive, unlimited on the senior managers in your group, which is great. Okay. Now, later on, I'm going to share you the different packages that are available. So for those of you on this call, like you want to get started, make the most money possible as fast as possible, there's ways, like I said, you can grandfather at the 20% manager or senior manager. I'll share that later. Now, team leader, this is where it's going to be about building a team, right? The first three is like you're a real estate agent or insurance agent, right? Team leader is now you're a broker, right? You're now training and developing people. You're finding people like yourself that want to make more money, people like yourself that want to have more time, people like yourself that want to support people and changing, their lives, right? So you introduce them to the business, right? And you help 3 of them become a senior manager, right? Which is ranked before, help 3 people do that, right? You get 5 customers, right? And you do 10,000 sales points a month or 50,000 a 5-month period, you're now a team leader. And as a team leader, you're earning 40 to 50% on your personal effort, right? On top of the overrides, on top of, 40% base commission, and now you start earning check match as well, okay? So just to kind of share with you, right? I know this looks like a lot. I'm just going to really quickly talk about it, right? So these are all the positions, right? There's more money after team leader. There's director, senior director. Again, you're going to get paid the most on what you personally do, okay? And then on top of that, you're also going to get overrides on your group, anywhere from 5% to 30%, depending on what position you are. And then you're also going to earn a unit level bonus, right? Anywhere from 1 to 6 level, anywhere from 5 to 4%, right? Which is great, right? 5 to 4%, okay? Once you become a director and higher, you also earn other overrides as well. Again, if you don't understand all this, it's just okay, right? Today was just to give you enough information so you can make an educated decision whether you want to do this or not, right? So just know we have a full training that's going to go in detail on how this actually works, right? But just know you get paid a lot for what you do, right? And you get paid a little bit for what your team does. Now, I'm going to share with you something. John Paul Getty, the world's first documented billionaire, he said, I'd rather get paid 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own, right? And, you go to McDonald's, it says 1 billion burgers sold. It's not because it's one McDonald's selling billions of burgers, right? It's millions of McDonald's everywhere doing their part, right? And that's the best part about this business, okay? You might not be the rock star, but what if you find the rock star, right? You might not, you might say, hey, I don't know if this is for me. Well, who do you think this is for? Why don't you introduce them to the business, right? And as we work with them, you can get the overrides as well. Super cool, okay? So give me a hypothetical example of the unit level, right? Let's just say you go out there and you introduce 3 people to the business, and those people introduce 3 people who introduce 3, right? And 3 turns to 9, 27. And then on the 6th level, right, you have 729 for a total of 1,000. Let's say on average, each planner gets 1,000 business points, right? You can make an extra $33,000 a month on overrides. That's just on the unit level. That's not even on the differential pay, and that's not even on your retail, okay? Now, let's say you go out there and you have a 10% success rate, right? You went out there, you're like, let's go, let's do it. And you fail 90% of the time. That's an extra $3,300 a month on the unit level, on top of the differential pay, on top of the retail, okay? But let's just say you want to double your success, right? You double the numbers, you make 66,000. And that's the beauty of it, right? The only limit is based on your work ethic. The only limit is based on your drive, your ambition, and your desire. And you know what's really great about RIMAN is here, you can decide your paycheck. You can decide how fast you do this, how slow you do this. And for me, that was great. And I remember when I saw this type of work for the first time, I looked at my mentor and I said, hey, like really, what are the chances that I can make this type of money? And my mentor looked at me and goes, Julian, well, what's the chances that you can make this money at where you work? And I go, 0. He goes, here, the chances are a lot better than 0. So wouldn't it make sense to at least give it a shot to something where you have a chance versus being 100% committed to something where you have no chance, no shot? And for me, that opened it up because, you know, for me, I was at a point in my life where I was angry with my results. I was angry with my circumstances. Even when I got started in RIMAN, just to share with you, when I got started in RIMAN, you know, I was making good money, but I was angry that I didn't have the time to give quality time to my wife the way I wanted to. That's why I didn't propose. That's why I didn't get married yet, because I felt like I had to be a certain place, not just financially, but also with my time. Because I didn't, you know, when we have kids, number one, being married, I didn't want to be a roommate with my wife and just be roommates and see each other, you know, part-time, right? Because we work all the time. And when we have kids, I want to be there raising our kids and not just have my wife be at home and have to take care of the kids by herself, to wake up in the middle of the night to be tired. So you'll share those responsibilities. And I was angry that I couldn't do that. And so when I got started in RIMAN, I went to work, right? I went to work and it paid off. And now I'm excited because, you know, everything's lined up. That's why we got, you know, that's why I proposed to her. That's why we got married. Don't ask about kids yet, right? That's down the future, okay? That's coming, okay? Not yet, but it's coming. All right, so to get started, right, we have product packages. They're not required, but they're highly recommended. And the reason why is because if you're gonna go out there, use the product, share the product, talk about the product, what should you have? Product, right? Any business needs to have product. Think about it. If you own a gas station, you probably have gas, right? If you own a nail salon, you should probably have nail polish, right? You know, and Asian people, no, I'm just kidding, right? I could say that. I'm just kidding. Moving forward, right? I'm Vietnamese too. Can you go jail? You want boyfriend, right? But, you know, starter kits, having products is very, very important because it's way more effective than just sharing a presentation. It's more effective than reading a brochure. In fact, right, the product really speaks for itself because when I first got started, I couldn't do this presentation. I didn't know how to explain anything. I said it all wrong. But what I was really good at was saying, just trust me here, put some product. This first, this second. And then afterwards, taking a picture and people are like, wow, this product is great. That's what I was good at. And then in the very beginning, that's all you really need to know because you're going to have experts. You're going to have a leadership team in position that's going to help you explain people, the products, explain the business, and help move the needle forward, okay? So there's a couple of starter kits that are set up, right? This is Starter Kit Premium 1. There's also a Starter Kit Premium 2, okay? The slight difference is the amount of products the type of products you get, right? But what's great about both packages is you get all the product lines. You can, in fact, get double and triple some of our flagship products. And really, if you look at the BP sales points, right, 1,500, 1,557, if you buy 2 of these, you're limited to 4, and you can only buy them in your first 30 days, okay? But if you get 2 of these, notice it's over 3,000 sales points. So you're actually going to start as a manager, okay? If you buy 4 of them, you're actually going to start as a senior manager. So again, they're not required, but highly recommended because, you know, if you start as a manager, you start at 20% commission. And then if you start as senior manager, you get 25 to 30% commission, right? And again, why leave money on the table? That's just my personal opinion, okay? We also have other packages too. We have the Starter Kit Plus, right? You know, still a great package. You get less products. You get double the flagship products, enough for you to use and enough to sample, right? And again, you want to have products for you to use, products that sample, so you're not taking from your own stash. But you know what else you want? You also want to have products. Some people are going to want to buy the product right then and there, right? In the first purchase, sometimes they buy it because of you. They're doing you a favor. They're giving it a shot. But the second purchase is always because they believe and love the product, right? So again, it's good to have product, you know, available. Then we have the Starter Kit EX line. This is really for customers. So if you want to know the full regimen, right? We have different plug and plays. If you want to just be a customer, this is kind of like the ultimate customer package because it gives you everything: the double cleanser, the booster, the serum, the moisturizer, the facial mist, right? The sunscreen, the lip balm, for $335. When I saw this, I was blown away because I know how much my wife and, you know, our family members spend on skincare. Brands like Lemire, SK2, right? You know, one moisturizer is more expensive than this whole package, and it doesn't even deliver near the results, right? And what's great, my family, right, stopped using all the products they used to use, and every single one of my family members is now using RIMAN, right? Granted, you know, they pull the family card, and I give it to most of them, right? Not many of our customers, I give it to them, but you know, their family, I love them and they love the products, which is huge, okay? You know, so many different incentives as well. RIMAN Retreat, right? The company takes care of you as you build the company. This is a huge retreat that so many people are qualifying for. June of 2026, we're going to be in Costa Rica. So you want to be there tickling your toes in the sand, sipping pina colada, right? And feeding the monkeys in the trees, right? We also have different fast start promotions for the month of November. So just talk to the person that invited you. They can break down the bonuses to you, right? Just know it's more incentive for things you're supposed to do anyways. We have leadership check match, which is great too. And here's what's amazing. If you work harder than the person that brought you in, you can actually pass them up and make more money than them, right? That's what's great. But also leadership check match, the company will always reward you for what you started because the company understands that they wouldn't have what they have if it wasn't for your hard work and dedication. So as you move through the ranks from team leader to national director, you're also going to earn leadership check match on your leaders. So what does that mean? As you develop leaders, right? For example, they're your first generation. Imagine every month, whatever commissions they make, the company's going to match 40% of that and add it to your check, right? Think of it as a royalty, right? So for me, that was huge because that wasn't available where I was working at. That wasn't available, with what I was doing, okay? And, even though this was, different than what I was used to, my mentor used to tell me, usual way, usual pay. Unusual way, unusual pay. So if you want to make different types of money, you got to do something different. And, for me, this was my biggest and fastest way into entrepreneurship. And, it's allowed me to not only make money here, but take the money I made here to invest and do other things, which is so great, right? Which is what a lot of us are looking for anyways. So with that being said, I'm super excited to have you guys here. Tomorrow, November 18th, we have a special RIMAN orientation. This is for people that have been exposed to the business, that, want to be onboarded, to know what the next steps are, to know where the tools are located, to have a strategic game plan. We have an amazing lineup set up for you, so you definitely don't want to miss the call. On Wednesday, we have a special opportunity overview, more geared to people in the UK because we just opened up, but the time slots are available, for all the different markets. It's going to be in English, so if you have guests, and you need a meeting, plug them in there, which is great. Also, Black Friday's coming up. Black Friday's coming up this Wednesday, November 19th, right? Miss Betty Perez and Katie Jones are going to be doing a very special RIMAN Black Friday preview. So you get a chance to see all the deals ahead of time. Like I said, there's no better time to get started on RIMAN than right now because Black Friday's here. It's going to be great. And you know what's great about our products, right? They look sexy, right? Being opened up on Christmas Day. Does that make sense? Can you imagine, right? Imagine we're a weight loss company, right? You can't give people protein shakes and weight loss pills for Christmas, opening it up, right? That'll probably be, a little bit uncomfortable, right? But we have really great quality skincare. Not only great quality skincare, the number one skincare. People opening it up, sharing that story. Hey, I got you the best Korean skincare. Have you heard of it? Especially if they're young, under the age of 28, they've heard of it. You're like the number one K Beauty because you deserve the best. Merry Christmas. Insert daughter, sister, wife, mom. Either way, they'll love you, right? So amazing. On Wednesday, we also have Product University. Angie does a great job every single week, diving more into the products, educating us what makes us different, what sets us apart, and special tips and tricks on how to maximize our products for maximum effectiveness, okay? On Thursday, we also have another RIMAN overview, very similar to this. You're going to have Miss Christy Belliston. She's going to be the presenter, one of my favorite people in the whole entire world. We just got back from a tour of Asia. We got a chance to hang out in Korea together, Macau and Hong Kong together, Philippines together. It was such a great time. And, honestly, there's probably nobody better to share the information than her. She's, like I said, absolutely one of my favorite people. And then you have Steve Hyun, who's going to share the testimonial. He's the second national director, right? One of the top national directors in the whole entire company. So definitely very valuable to get a chance to hear from him. And Friday, right, is our leadership development training day. This is where we develop leaders. So if you want to be a leader in our company, right, this is the call to make. And it's going to be with Mr. Chris Kim, okay? And it's going to be back to our original time. I know earlier we, past couple weeks changed the time. It's going to be back to our original time, okay? So with that said, next Monday, we're going to have another call. If you happen to be in the Orange County area or Southern California area, House of RIMAN, I'm at the office right now, right? Every, Monday night, at 7, we do an overview here, open to guests. They can see our corporate headquarters out here in North America. Definitely a great event to bring people to, okay? So wrapping it up, here's what I want to share. Okay, nobody here's a trained sales expert, right? Or maybe they are, right? But just to make it easy for everybody, right? Because, this process doesn't have to be awkward. After this call, chances are, right, the person invited you is going to send them their website link. And all you got to do is let them know whether you're an A, B, or C, right? Or let them know if you're in or you're out. Why? Because, it's a clear answer, right? And it's great for everybody. So what does that mean, A, B, or C? If you're a C, C means, man, you guys are crazy. C means I don't see myself doing this. C means see you later. And if that's you, let me share with you something. Just become a customer. Just become a customer. Just buy the EX starter line kit, right? It's $383, right? And you know what's amazing about that, right? We have a 30-day full money back guarantee for all of our products. You use the products, you don't like it, you can return it and get a full refund, right? Why? Because the company believes in the product and puts its money where its mouth is. So use the product. Because I know once you use the product, you'll get what I'm getting, right? Because understand at the end of the day, growing up, I didn't grow up looking for a skincare company to market and represent. I didn't think a skincare company was going to give me financial freedom and allow me to marry my wife and travel the world, right? That was not the plan. But what made me open-minded was how well the products work and how in demand the product was. And I realized it doesn't matter what I'm into, because what I'm into costs me money, doesn't make me money. And the smart thing to do is what everybody else is into and where everybody else is spending money and getting a piece of that. So become a customer so you can see the results, so you can see what we're talking about. And I know you're gonna upgrade to a planner, okay? If you're B means I wanna do it, but what about this? What about that? But, you start like beatboxing, right? Now, if you're B just means you have questions, right? And if you have questions, that's great. It means you're interested, right? So, let the person that invited you on this call, let them know your questions. Tell them all of your questions, right? So that way, if they answer it to your satisfaction, you'll get started with us, okay? It just means maybe I didn't do a good enough job to convey the information or provide enough value. So maybe you need more information to make a quality decision so you don't miss out on this opportunity, okay? And then if you're an A means like, hey, I was ready to get started once I saw a Wong bin, right? A means application, right? A means like, let's get started. I've been praying, amen. If that's you, welcome to the team, okay? If you're a B, right, get your questions answered, welcome to the team. If you're a C, become a customer. I know you're going to come back, enjoy the team. So with that being said, y'all, happy Monday, right? And I hope you enjoyed the rest of your week. Let's go out there. Let's make it happen. I look forward to sharing your success and hearing your story at the next RIMAN event. Take care, everybody.